Hey friends, it's good to be with you today, this evening. It's been a little bit since I was able to share with you, and so it's good to be able to talk about this past week's sermon and kind of think a little bit different, a little deeper, a little more specifically about some different things. It's funny to me to talk about this passage because one of the first times I ever taught was on this passage. I was teaching middle schoolers back home in Knoxville, and it didn't go super well. It was very interesting. I thought I was prepared. I was not, and I'm pretty sure I just said, "Wow, God uses nobodies about 100 times in, with regards to the shepherds," um, and which made a sermon that or a talk that should have been about 2.5 minutes, about 15, and it was just yeah, it was interesting. So things are a little different now, hopefully. But I digress. This passage, though, has always been because of that. Has always been something I've thought about. Always been something I find a lot of hope in, because it really is true that God used these shepherds, these dirty shepherds, the ones who people thought were unclean spiritually, the ones who thought they were probably smelled bad because they were with animals all day, right? And the ones who did not have a good reputation, the ones whose voices were not heard in court, the ones who felt outcast, who were outcasted. These are the ones he used. He used these people, the ones who they viewed their job, like most people around them viewed their job as an unfortunate necessity because they needed shepherds. They didn't want the shepherds. They wanted the sheep, but they didn't want the shepherds. And so it is the good news of unto us a child is born comes through these unlikely voices. And I think it humbles us in many ways. It also should give us hope in many ways that even in our own lives, when we feel like everything is tumultuous, or I am not good enough, or if people only knew who I am, God, they would leave me, God would leave me, all of that. And yet, God came to this unlikely group for them to be shepherds of this good news to the world. So take heart. He can use even me. He can use even you for the good things of his kingdom. But I also think it's kind of incredible of the dignity that is bestowed upon this vocation as time goes on. If you think about it's kind of weird that David is such a big influence, this lowly shepherd boy loved by God and a man after God's own heart, but then becomes king. So apparently his days of shepherding were thought, just a phase or something. But Jesus gives dignity to this vocation later, and in John when he says that he is the good shepherd, that he is the protector of the sheep, that he will leave the 99 to go after the one, that he will protect them from wolves and thieves. He goes even as far as to say that I am the gate. I am the one who opens them into the house. It opens them into me, into goodness and mercy and to hope. So Jesus is in many ways setting this precedent of taking care of people, and these shepherds are the beginning of that, the carriers of this good news of peace. But I don't know about you. I don't know how peaceful my days feel often. I wouldn't consider this a super peaceful time, starting with the constant need for distraction of our days from our devices, websites, blogs, social media accounts, streaming services, retail therapy, our food intake, all of it. It goes on and on and on. All of this trying to find searching for meaning, for purpose, for peace. We long for it. We long for it within us. Sometimes, if we're honest, that if we really wanted peace, we kind of are scared of it because that quiet, because that fear of the quiet and that the truth or something that we didn't want to come out, and we have to process things that are hard. So instead of doing that, we search and attach ourselves to another controversy, another something to be outraged about, all the while searching for peace again in all the wrong places. Sometimes this pursuit, like Clay said on Sunday, leads us to be in these sort of echo chambers, surrounded by yes people, people who believe all the same things as us until they don't. Nobody will believe everything you believe. You, like Clay said, you don't even believe everything you think you believe. So, but it's all this is this search for peace, this search for certainty, this search for comfort in the discomfort of our time. This has implications. It has costs of relationships, and all sorts of things. We'll sacrifice a lot to find peace, even if it's false peace. So what the message of the shepherds gives us is this hope, this understanding of peace, a peace for people like you and me, a peace for people like you and me where we are now, not who we want to be, not even who we could be, but right now. The peace that transforms us into who we are to be in this world, a peace that when we embrace it, changes our lives, and a peace that when we embrace it, we are called to embody it in the world around us. See, this good news is good news for us, and it's good news for the world. So if it's so transformed us, we so as well go transform our world with this message of peace. Not peace that we've found in what we've done, but the peace as a gift offering to us in the person and work of Jesus Christ. This peace found in a baby in swaddling clothes. Peace that leads us to being peaceful people at the dinner table, the Christmas dinner table, the holiday tables especially, because those seem to be a little interesting at times when everybody gathers. A peace in our home, a peaceful presence in our interactions with those who think differently than us, those who interact with us online, or really anywhere that God has put us. We are the peaceful people in the room. We are called to be peacemakers, shalom makers. This is who we are for those who follow Jesus. So I want to challenge you, like Clay did, but even in ways that to pursue this peace, to be the peace in the room, in the midst of the utter conflict in our day or the utter conflict in your relationships. Be the peace. Be peaceful. Be peacemakers in your days. For it is what our God has told us to do. It is the example of the shepherds, the example of Jesus himself. And so, brothers and sisters, I pray that this Advent season is one of peace, one of joy for you, because the message that unto us a child is born is good news of peace and reconciliation with God and with one another. So I pray that it is one of encouragement and hope and joy for you this day and every day. So I'll leave you with these words from Romans. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. It's good to be with you. Hopefully we will see you Sunday, and have a very Merry Christmas and a great Advent season leading up to it. May we find God's peace. See you later.